ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
A terrifying moment at the San Diego Zoo. A father jumped into the elephant enclosure with his 2-year-old child in his arms. That father now under arrest, facing charges. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Kimberly Hunt. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo talked to stunned witnesses still rattled by the terrifying scene at the zoo.
Well, it was no doubt a close call. Everyone is unhurt, but witnesses say that this elephant came just feet away from this child and her father.
I mean, I froze. I just prayed that they would escape with their lives.
A terrifying close call for people at the zoo Friday night. A man entering the elephant enclosure with his 2-year-old daughter in his arms.
Very young child in his arms, and he's probably between the gate of the elephant enclosure and one of the biggest elephants I've ever seen.
San Diego police say the man wanted a picture, getting through 2 security fences meant to keep people away from the elephants. One of those fences is electrified.
The crowd just starts yelling and everyone's like, dude, you got to get out of there.
Witnesses say the elephants quickly became aggravated.
The elephant starts charging the man with his baby in his arms.
The man was able to make it out, but not before another close call. Police say he dropped the child as the animal was approaching.
He's able to tuck and roll and kind of throw the baby back underneath the fence of the enclosure.
Our cameras capturing the moment San Diego police took him into custody. A San Diego Zoo spokesperson confirming the incident, explaining the habitat is home to Asian and African elephants. Everyone was unhurt, but for witnesses, a traumatizing experience.
It was terrifying, and again, I'm just happy that we didn't see anything worse.
Police say the man will be facing at least child endangerment charges. They are also looking into whether or not he was intoxicated. Reporting from the zoo, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
I feel like if restaurants were just only outside at this time, it just wouldn't be the same.
Tonight, Aztec fans took advantage of being able to watch March Madness at their favorite establishment. San Diego's first weekend in the red tier allowed inside reopenings, and the Aztecs' primetime matchup was on the big screen. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura has more on how the NCAA tournament boosted area bars and restaurants.
It wasn't the outcome Aztec fans wanted, but there was a lot of excitement leading up to the game. Many fans went out to bars and restaurants to watch the game and cheer on the team. This was the gas lamp quarter Friday night, many out and about and dining inside as well. For the first weekend in a long time, bars and restaurants are able to serve indoors at 25% capacity or 100 people, whichever is fewer.
25% still way better than nothing, so it's been great.
Michael Feldman is with Dirty Birds. He says moving into the red tier couldn't have come at a better time to help with the demand from people wanting to go out and watch San Diego State play in the NCAA tournament Friday. This was how it looked at their college area location.
We've been full since 2 o'clock.
Under the red tier, they were able to put about 40 people inside. There was someone at the door keeping track of who was seated inside. Staff said they took precautions to maintain distancing indoors. They also placed barriers between tables. There was plenty of outside seating as well, though Nathaniel Gordon said he would have preferred a table inside.
I feel like if restaurants were just only outside at this time, it just wouldn't be the same. And it's not an excuse to come out, but it definitely makes the experience better.
Some Aztec fans even made it to the game. Philip Ronigan was one of the lucky ones to get a ticket. He traveled to Indianapolis to watch the Aztecs in person.
I've had a great time, and I'm really proud of the team. The players are great, the coaches are great. Just unfortunately the basketball gods didn't shine on us.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
And ABC 10 News sports anchor Steve Smith is going to have all of the details on that game coming up in just a bit in sports. But first, tomorrow, San Diego's first and most used vaccine Superstation will close at Petco Park. When the deal was made to use the Padres parking lot as a vaccine site, the county knew that Petco would have to close before baseball season. By the time the final shot is given tomorrow, more than 215,000 doses of the vaccine will have been delivered there. The site was run by UC San Diego Health. UCSD will continue to operate a site on its campus in La Jolla, as well as a mobile vaccination unit.
On behalf of UC San Diego Health and everyone, this has probably been the greatest privilege of a lot of our lives. So it was been an honor to do this.
County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says they currently have enough capacity at their other vaccination sites, but he says they could open a new Superstation at the convention center if needed. Meantime, the Del Mar vaccine Superstation will be closed again tomorrow because of a vaccine delivery shortfall. It will also be closed next weekend for the very same reason. All canceled appointments will be rescheduled. The county reported another 421 cases today, while our test positivity rate rose to 4%. Another 13 people lost their lives to COVID, bringing the total to just under 3,500. You can stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store. 6 people were hurt after a car jumped the curb and crashed into a building along the Hollywood Walk of Fame this afternoon. Among those injured are a reporter and a photographer from a television station in LA. They're covering the reopen of the famous El Capitan Theater. And the news helicopter captured video of the suspected driver being taken away in handcuffs. Police say 5 people were rushed to the hospital in serious condition. With crimes against Asian Americans on the rise, several community groups in San Diego are standing united with victims of hate. ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco shares the growing calls to condemn racism.
The names of the 8 people killed in the Atlanta shootings read aloud, 6 of them Asian women. Several local organizations came together Friday morning to show support for victims of hate.
This kind of violence needs to be named, as it is specifically racialized misogyny, sexualization, fetishization of Asians. This is the long legacy of racist gender violence.
Authorities in Georgia say the shooter behind this week's rampage told them he was motivated by a sex addiction. They haven't ruled out that race may have also played a factor. The people who spoke at this rally say they have no doubt.
We urge all our community leaders, elected officials, to name this for what it is: anti-Asian violence.
Governor Gavin Newsom met with Asian American and Pacific Islander community members in San Francisco Friday to condemn a recent increase in hate incidents in the Bay Area.
Also, hold those accountable that are the quiet perpetrators of hate.
Since the pandemic began, nearly 3,800 incidents have been reported to stop AAPI hate, nearly 1,700 in California, 42 reported in San Diego. Lawmakers are considering a bill that would have the Justice Department track incidents and not just hate crimes.
What it typically requires is for you, and I say this as a former prosecutor, to not only prove, say, the act of violence, but to prove the racial intent, which usually you can only prove if someone is screaming an epithet.
Victims of hate, also the focus of Friday's Mass at USD.
We pray that we will never hesitate in condemning with passion the unacceptable rise of hate.
Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
San Diego continues to be a very expensive place to live. New numbers out today from Zillow show the typical rent in San Diego is just over $2,300 a month. That's nearly $100 more than a year ago. The typical home has appreciated $87,000 over the past year and is now worth more than $700,000. A big reason is a lack of supply. There were 25% fewer homes on the market last month compared to February of 2020. An 8th woman has now come forward accusing New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual misconduct. According to the New York Times, Alyssa McGrath is the first current aide to publicly accuse the governor. McGrath says in a series of interactions, the governor asked about a lack of a wedding ring and called her beautiful in Italian. She also claims that Cuomo looked down her shirt and then complimented her on her jewelry. 7 other women, many former aides, have accused Cuomo of harassment. Most of the Democratic Party leadership has called on him to resign. Cuomo denies any wrongdoing and says he will not step down.